Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. Joe Madden here, and it's time for All-Jo Madden over here on Picks and Parlays. We have an absolutely loaded show for you today. Of course, we've got the big showdown in the NFL. It is a Monday Night Football, and I can hardly wait. The Detroit Lions taking on the Baltimore Ravens. We're also going to look at the couple games out there on the diamonds, and I'm joined today by Jesse Schultz, Sean Higgs, and David Delano. So it's going to be a loaded show. We're going to go over everything that you need to know going into these games. And want to remind you guys, open your Odds Logic page so you do have that in front of you so you can get the best of those lines as we are talking these games. Now, there was some crazy ones this weekend, and I couldn't believe what we were seeing. Those missed field goals, those blocked field goals, those games that came down to the very wire, especially in those morning games. It was crazy. You know, you always hear in red zone, it's when the witching hour, right? It was the witching last 2 minutes as those games tossed and turned back and forth. But we had some huge wins. We saw Carson Wentz come out nice and strong for the Minnesota Vikings, stepping in there, proving that he was a huge upgrade from JJ McCarthy. And I'm sorry, JJ fans, if you didn't want to hear that. It was just how it went. We saw in Sunday Night Football, the Kansas City Chiefs finally right the ship, get their first win of the season, really put in Russell Wilson in a hard situation. They won that one 22-9. So some great games out there. Let us know in the questions and comment section here what you guys saw out there, what you guys liked out there. Can't wait to hear what, you won on, what you saw those upsets in, how your survivor picks went. So do drop those in the comments, you guys. We got a lot to go over today here on Picks and Parlays. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button as well. And I just want to brag for half a second. The Chargers are now 3-0 in the AFC West. 3 divisional opponents down. I can't believe what we've seen out of the Chargers. We know they beat KC in Brazil in week 1. They beat the Raiders in week 2. And last night, they took care of the Denver Broncos, winning that one 23-20. So impressed with what I saw out of my Chargers. But let's get to tonight's Monday Night Football game. Couple of trends here for you in the Monday Night Football game before we bring in Jesse Schultz. So make sure you drop those questions in YouTube over here. For Jesse Schultz, he'll be here in just a moment. So looking at this matchup, highly anticipated total in this matchup with what we've seen out of both of these teams. We've seen the Baltimore Ravens put up 2 games where they were able to get the points in the 40s, and we've seen Detroit coming off that crazy game versus the Bears where they just racked up those points. 52 points in that game? Tonight, we have a total of 53.5. It is sky high, you guys. It's minus 105, right around that line to the over, minus 115 to the under. We're seeing Detroit coming in as a 5.5-point dog and plus 198 on that money line. If they can pull off the upset. Now, we've got some great trends for quarterbacks on Monday nights between these two, Jared Goff and Lamar. Both of them really step up on Monday Night Football on the big stage. We know that the storyline behind the Baltimore Ravens, Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, it will have to be Detroit containing those two. The best way to beat those two, keep them off the field. So the defense is going to have to keep them off the field. We're going to see Jared Goff step up, look for his targets out there, and this should be a fantastic game. So let's bring in Jesse Schultz. We're going to see what he is liking. I see you guys popping into the comments here on YouTube. So thank you for joining us here to the both of you. Jesse, I'm going to bring you in right now. Happy Monday. You ready for some Monday Night Football?
I'm looking forward to Monday Night Football. And as you mentioned, we got a sky-high total. And that's what fans want to see, right? That's what everybody wants to see on Monday night, is an exciting game with a lot of points and a lot of scoring.
Absolutely. But how high is too high, Jesse? With that total of 53.5 now, we're seeing the juice to the under at minus 115. Are we getting just too high?
I don't think so. Ralph Michaels does charts of trends for long-term trends for overs and unders, and what the data shows, as far as I remember, is those lower totals, like 41 and below, tend to go under at a very high rate. The lower the total is, and the higher totals actually tend to go over at a higher rate, which is sort of counterintuitive because you would expect you're getting, but the more the number gets inflated, you would expect you're getting better value by betting the under. However, the bookmakers know what they're doing. as does the public these days. The public is well researched. So when you see games with totals that creep up high, usually there's a pretty good reason for it.
Yeah, there definitely is. And you look at both of these quarterbacks, we look at what they've been able to do. On Monday Night Football, those stats alone are so impressive. You look at Jared Goff, 7-2 all-time in Monday Night Football, 19-6 touchdown to interception ratio. And then when you go to Lamar, 7-2 as well, Monday Night Football. So that is 9 games, you guys. 22-0 touchdown to interception ratio. And he's rushed for almost 700 yards, Jesse. How impressed do you think we're going to be at the end of the night with both of these quarterbacks?
Well, I think we're going to be very impressed, and that's one reason why I'm selecting a few player props to look at, because my strategy when it comes to player props is if you're betting on any overs, yards, totals, over receptions, rushing yards, what have you, or anytime touchdown scores, it's got to be in a game that's projected to have a lot of points. I see a lot of novice bettors picking anytime touchdown scores in games with totals of 40, 41. And, we're only expecting to see 3 or 4 touchdowns between the two teams. I don't think you want to be betting on anytime touchdown scores in those games. But if there's ever a game to be betting on that, it's this game right here, games much like it. And for that reason, I've got 3 that I'm looking at. Let's start with the quarterbacks, both Goff and Lamar. I like them both to go over their passing yards props here. Goff last week, 334 yards and 5 touchdowns on 23 of 38 passing against Chicago. They scored 52 points, the Lions did, against the Bears. And then you look back at the last time Goff played the Ravens, 284 yards, no touchdowns, threw a pick, 33 of 53 passing. The Lions lost that game 38-6. But in an attempt to come back, Goff did throw for plenty of yards. His yards total for this game, 250.5. I like him to go over that number. And Lamar, 225.5. Lamar last week threw for exactly 225 yards, 4 touchdowns on 19 of 29 in a blowout win over Cleveland. But Cleveland was not keeping it competitive. I think the Lions will be a lot more competitive than Cleveland was, forcing Lamar to continue throwing that ball. And if you look at the last time Lamar played the Lions, 357 yards, 3 touchdowns on 21 of 27 passing. That was back in 2023 in a 38-6 victory. And finally, Jahmyr Gibbs to score a touchdown. Like I said, they're projecting a lot of touchdowns to be scored in this game. The RB1 for the Lions, he's gone over, or he's scored touchdowns, I believe, in 7 of his last 9 starts. So I think with the total being as high as it is, good value on the RB1 for the Lions to score a touchdown in this game.
Gotta love it. Lamar over 225.5 passing yards, you guys. Jared Goff over 250.5 passing yards. And Jahmyr Gibbs for the anytime touchdown at -124. Jesse, it looks like that game is a recipe for money with those quarterbacks really having so much success. I'd look at their over on their passing touchdowns as well if you're looking at those. But what do you think here? I know you don't have anything on Derrick Henry. Do you think he's going to have a big game here tonight? Because we know his rushing yardage number is high. It's 86.5. Do you think the Ravens can use him on the ground? Because I know you've got Lamar going off in this one for those passing yards. Do you think Derrick Henry's just not part of the game plan tonight?
The problem is he's expensive. And I was planning on mentioning it because if there's one guy who's going to score a touchdown tonight, it's the obvious choice is Derrick Henry. It's priced at around 2-1, so it's a little bit too high for me. But I still think it's a good throw in on a single game parlay. I think Henry is certainly going to score a touchdown tonight. And I was going to bring this up, Joe, because I don't know if you know this. Do you know what Derrick Henry's NFL Combine bench press score was?
I do not.
22 reps at 225 pounds at the NFL Combine. You know what my score is?
Okay, let's hear it.
21. I missed by 1. And last attempt was on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm going to try again this Super Bowl Sunday and see if we can get to 22.
Can you come on and do it live here on Picks and Parlays? Because
I did it live on my channel last year, and I absolutely would love to do it live on Picks and Parlays.
Okay, I love it. Okay, we've gone over Monday Night Football. We'll recap your best bets at the end of the show. Anyone that's just jumping in, Jesse, but you have an upset alert. You're gonna break my heart with this one. Let's hear it.
Yeah, I mean, the Ohio State Buckeyes, obviously, they don't lose many games, but I'm putting them on upset alert this week. They're traveling across the country to Washington, and I know a lot of people think, "Oh, Washington, how tough could that be?" Well, talk to the Oregon Ducks. The Oregon Ducks have lost quite a few games at Husky Stadium. Washington is a competitive team, and this will be the first start for freshman quarterback Julian Sayin. Ohio State, they beat Texas in the season opener, and a lot of people were really impressed by that. If you really break it down, though, Arch Manning, if he could have completed any of those passes, they would have lost that game. Texas outgained them, more first downs, more time of possession. Arch Manning just simply could not complete passes to wide open receivers. Well, they're not going to get that lucky this week because Damon Williams has thrown for 778 yards and 6 touchdowns on 74% passing so far. He's also run for 220 yards and a pair of touchdowns. The quarterback at Washington is lights out, and Washington will have the superior quarterback in this game, in my opinion. Now, they're probably going to be inferior at the lines of scrimmage. So it's really going to, this kid's going to have a great game if they're going to hang with the Buckeyes or pull off an upset. I think the Buckeyes will be cautious with their freshman in his first road start. I think they'll lean on their running game and try and sneak out of here with a victory in a 1-score game. So I like Washington plus the 9, but I will sprinkle a little on the money line. And don't be surprised if this game gets close and it could be an upset.
Ooh, that's a hard pill to swallow on a Monday morning here after not watching my Buckeyes play this weekend, Jesse.
Well, if you saw how I did with college football this week, you'd rest easy.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jesse, thank you so much for coming on All-Jo Madden here on Picks and Parlays this morning. What do you have up for sale for us?
I have my Monday Night Football game of the year, and I'm 14-2 with NFL so far this season, coming off a perfect 2-0 Sunday. And I had the Chargers, so I'm sure you like to hear that.
Whew, that makes up for the fact that you're going to take Washington plus the points. My Chargers, I still can't believe, Jesse, 3-0 in division games, to say the least. It's an outstanding start for them. Do you think they can keep it up? You're not talking Super Bowl, right? Because everyone's talking Super Bowl for the Chargers now. I'm not ready to say that.
I'm talking winning the division. Let's put it that way.
Let's go. Okay, Jesse, thank you so much for joining us here on All-Jo Madden. Everyone, you can grab Jesse's picks over at Picks and Parlays. Get that Monday Night Football action. Jesse, we'll hope to see you later this week.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, that was Jesse Schultz. You can get all of his best picks and predictions over on Picks and Parlays. So head on over and check that out. Now, one thing I want to mention, the poll is up and running over on X. So make sure you get your votes in on your best bet tonight in Monday Night Football. We're seeing a lot of love coming in for the Lions. 36.6% of people on X versus the books are rolling with the Baltimore Ravens. The Lions plus the 5.5, or with that sprinkle on that money line. Can the Lions pull off the upset here on Monday Night Football? 17% of people liking the Lions plus the points. And when we look at that total, we are seeing the love for the over. 34% of votes coming on the over 53.5, and 12% coming in on the under 53.5. So if you like to go against the public, that is the way that you want to go, with the under and with the Lions. It's going to be interesting to see this matchup here on Monday Night Football. We know it's going to bring out the best in these quarterbacks. I love where Jesse's going. If you guys did miss Jesse's best bets out there on Monday Night Football, he was rolling with Lamar for the over his passing yards, Jared Goff over on his passing yards, and Jamari Gibbs for that anytime touchdown. We're going to bring in Sean Higgs. Let's see what Sean is liking tonight, both on the diamonds as well as out there in Monday Night Football. Sean, happy Monday. Did you survive that crazy Sunday madness, especially in those earlier games?
I did have the Rams so that hurt. But then I had the Jets pull out their miracle cover.
Yeah.
I had a couple tough total losses. I had the Steelers 41.5. Patriots come punch it in. I had Dallas over 46.
Yeah.
I mean, 45 points in the third quarter. That's the second time Dallas really stuck it to me on a total.
CeeDee Lamb, though, right? Like if
it doesn't make you have 45 points in the third quarter. It's as bad as the Eagle opening night total. Those are tough. That's baseball, Susan. What am I going to do? It's sports betting. Let's just move on. Frustrating. You can't. Thanks for bringing it up, Joe. I appreciate it. Thanks for ruining my Monday.
I'm sorry. So Jesse ruined my Monday. He's thinking maybe.
Let me tell you, I've seen him do the bench press. It's crazy. Now, hopefully he doesn't wear the crazy yellow leotard, Mr. Perfect outfit with a wig on, but he's yeah, I don't need to see that. He could go, just put a tank top on, Jess. It's all right. Just pump him out. I can't do that. I don't know
what I signed up for, asking him to come do that bench press here on Picks and Parlays, but we'll see.
I'll do a wing press with chicken wings. I'll see how many I could just keep funneling into my mouth for you.
Oh, okay. I think we got a competition.
It's got to be like a Super Bowl Sunday kind of thing, though, if he's doing bench presses.
Yeah, and you're eating those wings. We'll see.
Wings. Not boneless, but real wings. Wings have bones in them, folks. So if you're having a boneless wing, you're having a chicken nugget, it does not count. They're chicken nuggets.
There is a debate for Monday morning. You guys drop in the chat here if boneless wings are actually wings or if they're just glorified nuggets, right? Yes. They're like McDonald's nuggets. That's the thing. Okay, we got Monday Night Football. We know who hurt us yesterday. We know who cashed for us yesterday. But who's going to make us money tonight, Sean? This is going to be a crazy matchup. Any possibility? Like, how do Dan Campbell and the Lions roll into Baltimore, where we know the Ravens were 6-2 last season at home? Like, they're so strong at home. Lamar is fantastic in Monday Night Football. This defense is a little banged up, though. Is there a recipe for the Lions to get the win tonight?
Listen, I don't know if it's a recipe to win. Is it a recipe to put up points? Absolutely. Ravens, we saw them in week 1, right? Was that 41? You lose that game. This team is, we saw them last year give up late leads in games. This year at home, or last year at home, the Raiders come in here. We saw Cleveland score 20-something. So, yeah, I think Detroit could score. And Kansas City's on deck for Baltimore, too. So, their eye might be off the total prize here. Is it worth the shot on the points? Maybe. I'm liking the over. I think the first half over, 26.5. I think the Ravens, who holds them back, would cost them in week 1, will cost them in the playoffs in years past. Is Harbaugh's play calling? I'm going over the total. I think we're going to get your MVP Lamar type numbers here. And there's the Zay Flowers. 1 TD is even money. And like Jesse was saying, we could come in here and be like, well, Henry's going to score a touchdown. Of course, if you want to lay some crazy number. How about 2 TDs for Flowers? If I think the guy's going to score 1, why not 2? And this is, I think, for anybody, if you like, whatever kind of guy you like. If they're good for 1, he's the hot hand, right? Maybe he's the running back busting up yardage left and right. He's a wide receiver catching some big plays, and they're just going to keep going to him, feeding him the ball. 6-1, I'm going to grab Zay Flowers here. Obviously, I think the Ravens are going to score. I think Lions are going to score. I got over for the first half. 2 TDs, 6-1. I can't pass it up.
Yeah, I love where you're going there. So you guys, first half over 26.5 points between the Lions and the Ravens, and then Zay Flowers for the 2 touchdowns at plus 600. I love that ladder, especially when the first one's only plus 100. So then laddering it up to plus 600. That is great if he's able to get in the end zone twice.
He's getting in. If it's even money, they think he's going to score. So now you're giving me a shot that he could score a second one in a game that has the highest total on the board. There will be points scored here. Why not my guy get 2? He's getting 2, and he'll get it for you too. So take the bet and be a winner. And hit the like button.
Well, yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and the notification button over on YouTube so you know when everything is dropping. I know, Sean, you've been doing so many free pick videos here on Picks and Parlays, and people don't want to miss out on those. Now, looking at this game tonight, did you know the Ravens are wearing their all black? It's their Darkness Falls game.
So they're going to go to their special unis.
Yeah, they're 20-6 straight up when they wear those. Do you weigh that into your handicapping at all?
Hell no, I do not care. What I care about on Monday Night Football when they do stuff like this nonsense, are they hanging somebody else's jersey? Are they honoring an old player? Those they're hanging stuff up and it's a party at halftime for the home team. I'll be on the opposite side. I'll be on the visitor there, because the visitor's gonna be like, we're gonna screw up your party. You guys are all out there. It's pomp and circumstance. Nah, just a regular. We're gonna roll out a throwback. Who cares about that nonsense? That's all about just to get extra money in the pocket so people can buy stuff at the souvenir stand. I don't worry about that. If it was we're honoring a team, we got a player, we're rolling in a bunch of 17 guys from this team, then I'm fading away. That's all sports. That's any kind of celebration. That team's somewhere else. The other team's like, let's rain on this parade. Let's get the pee on them. Let's go.
Oh yeah, we know our good friend Scott Wetzel is huge onto that as well. Fading when those teams are raising those banners. So I love it. Facts. Wings have to have bones in them. I agree. Right? Gotta have bones in your wings. So cut up chicken breasts are not wings. So thanks you guys for weighing in there.
They're chicken fingers. Yes.
I have to ask you about Derrick Henry though as well. I know I asked Jesse, but what do you think about Derrick Henry tonight? We know you can't. It's unbettable for the one touchdown. He's minus 200. Do you think he gets the yards on the ground though? Because they need to keep him off the field, but is he going to have a big game?
They need to keep him off the field, but Detroit's still gonna. For them to win, they have to be kind of up-tempo, right? So he'll be on the field. He'll get his yardage because I don't think Detroit stops him, So he'll get yard. Now, again, this is one game. We're not talking, season long. Will he hit 1,900, 2,000 yards? Probably not. They want to save him. But you need wins now. You need to win games. This is where he'll come out and be a battering ram. And we saw him. We saw him in Buffalo. Comes out like some huge runs. You're like, what? The guy's got 9 carries and 115 yards. And you're like, what? All it takes is like that one kind of 30. You get a couple 30-yard breaks like that. And then what? He's on the bench, and here comes Justice Hill for a spell or something. I just can't. I'm with Jesse. I can't lay crazy juice like that. I'm not gonna do that in a regular baseball game laying 150. I'm not gonna do it on a touchdown or yardage prop for even money. You don't need to come into the All-Jo Madden show to hear somebody say, hey, we're going to take his over 90, 40, whatever it is. You're going to do that on your own. You want to come in here something different, like, oh, hey, Zay Flowers 2 touchdowns, 6-1. Oh, Gibbs touchdown, like something different, something outside of the thinking.
That's what you need. That's what you need for sure. Okay, so you guys, Sean is rolling with Monday Night Football. Lions, Ravens, first half over 26.5. Zay Flowers for the 2+ touchdowns at plus 600, bringing that big money, Sean. Okay, let's talk MLB. We got some MLB action today. What have you got for us out there on the diamonds?
One game, and this is actually you get it as a freemium, folks. That's how I roll, because you know what? Happy Monday. I know you feel bad you got buried on Sunday with some bad beats. So I'll give you the Braves here on the run line. And this is, listen, Braves have been hot. I know the Nats come in beating up the Mets, but I got a Hall of Fame type guy, veteran guy on the hill. He's going to be like, listen, I want my wins. Go out there, keep doing what we're doing. They got pride in Atlanta. You see them how they're finishing strong. It's been a bad year. I think they beat the Nationals here. I'll do the run line. I don't have any ribby or home run props here. I apologize. I just, this time of year does get a little tricky. 6 games left. The mindset here, though, with a veteran like Sale, I think they're going to want to come out and play and keep winning because they have been. So give me the Braves run line.
I like it. Braves on the run line there. Sean, it's going to be a loaded day out there with this Monday Night Football game. I know it's a small slate in MLB. You've given the best pick for MLB, but what else have you got for sale for us over on Picks and Parlays?
I just have the one NFL up today. I got a little something special there. I can't give it all away for free. I do. We throw a lot out here for free, and then I'm loading up for NFL and college football for the week. I got some games already loaded into the system. I'm having a nice week, nice month, nice year. We're keeping it going. Now, your next guest is somebody I always got a battle with on the leaderboards. This guy. When I first did a video, I'm like, thank God this is a real person. I thought it was just some AI generated person. Like, who the hell's Dave Delano? This guy's freaking killing me. And basically got to find out who he is. And he's a real guy. So I felt better that I was being pushed by a human being. Like,
It's because that beard is so on point, right? Like it's got to be an AI beard over there, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. I'm like, because he's a nice professional picture. Me, I'm silly in my photos. I'm just, you got a llama behind me. So I look like I'm a real person. Dave, I'm like, who's this cat? But he's good.
I love that llama. I've been meaning to ask you. Did you paint the llama?
So the llama started during the COVID when I started up my little midday Monday. My daughter was like, we had sold the house because we were moving and we're in an apartment and it was just a plain wall. So she made the little llama. She said my show looked sad because it was just my giant head. And she made the llama. And she was, I guess, I don't know, like 10 at the time, 9, 10. So the llamas come out. Now I got a Christmas llama. He's got a Christmas hat on for the Christmas time. So that's my daughter makes the little llama. And then I got the little llamas on the shelf around me. So the llama, it was just behind me. It was just the giant llama. So I got to keep it.
Okay, Sean. That llama definitely is bringing you good luck because you're just crushing it on the leaderboard. So everyone can head on over to Picks and Parlays, get your Monday Night Football best bet. And we'll recap your free picks here that you gave out everyone at the end of the show. But Sean, thank you so much for coming on today.
You got it, Joe. Good luck. Take it easy.
Yeah, we'll see you later this week. You guys, that was Sean Higgs again. Head on over to Picks and Parlays to grab his best bets in Monday Night Football. You don't want to miss out on them now. I've got David Delano coming in next here, and we've got some specials running for him. He's got his football power play and his free MLB limited time one-time offer. You can get those over on Picks and Parlays right now. So get his NFL and college football 30-day pass today and receive 2 bonus weeks of football for free. MLB postseason plays and World Series are included at no extra cost. So this is a great deal, you guys. He's fresh off a 4-0 sweep in college football this weekend. Delano continues to dominate the books. Proven results. Out of 43 handicappers, he's number 1 in MLB moneyline since 2022. Number 1 MLB profits combined over the last 2 seasons, plus 109.32 units. Number 1 in NFL point spreads this season, and number 2 in college football totals since 2022. Don't miss out on one of the most consistent winners over here on Picks and Parlays. So head on over and get his premium picks now. Again, it is his NFL and college football 30-day pass and receive 2 bonus weeks of football for free. But after all that hype, let's bring David Delano into the show here. David, happy Monday.
Happy Monday, Joe. Thanks so much for the introduction, and don't want to put any pressure on myself, but we also had a 3-0 sweep on my football plays on your show on Friday, so hopefully we can do that again.
I was going to mention that. That was a crazy day here. You made lots of money, and so the other handicappers. It was a great one here. So hopefully you guys did tail those picks on Friday. We saw Tulane play really strong as well. It was an interesting one. How did college football was great to you this weekend? How's the season going overall for your teams that you're really looking to shine?
Yeah, so far it's been going pretty well overall. I was listening to Jesse's take about the Ohio State and Washington game. I'm giving him credit for diving into it so early. I'm not sure if I'm ready to go quite that far, but he really knows his stuff, and he made a very, very compelling argument there that when I look at that a little bit later on, sometimes I try to form these opinions early on in the week because you hear stuff like that from somebody that you respect and might want to go the other way or can influence your opinions. But yeah, so far it's been an interesting season. I mean, we're not really seeing a lot of the same. Seeing a lot more parity, really, even with the transfer, with the transfer portal, and a lot of these big name teams and a lot of these mid-major teams. You're starting to see you can't dwell so much on just the name of the program like we saw Oklahoma State last over on Friday. A lot of these teams with big names, some of them have closer to mid-major rosters, and some of these mid-major schools, they've got a lot of guys from Power 4 teams coming on. So it's really been all over the place. I'm excited to see, Ohio State, as you mentioned, what they do this week, because this past week, and then they played a couple of I mean, Ohio's solid, but the last couple weeks since Texas, it'll be interesting to see what happens with the Buckeyes in the Big Ten. So I think we're still kind of easing into things and starting to learn more about these teams.
Absolutely. My Buckeyes really need to step up, and I think they need to come to play straight out of the gate in that game versus Washington, because otherwise Jesse's going to be on the money, and Washington will give them a run for their money in that matchup. But let's talk Monday Night Football. We've got the big game, the showdown, the one everyone's been looking forward to. This is a game that I had circled of the week here. We had some crazy finishes in Sunday football, especially in that early hour. Do you think this one could be one of those games that comes to the wire? Whoever has the ball in their hand last, because it definitely could be, Jesse.
It could be, but I'm looking at the first half in this one. I do think that just if I was watching this from a fan perspective, I kind of would like to, and just looking at the numbers, when you look at how strong the Lions are, getting 4.5, 5.5, some places, thinking that they could compete, but I could also see a path where this could potentially be a blowout. As much respect as I have for the Lions, I mean, you look at some of the quarterbacks they've struggled with in the past. You see what Josh Allen did to him last year, what Jaden Daniels did to him last year, and even what Lamar Jackson did to them back in 2023 when they lost that game 38-6. So I don't think it's going to come down to.
Okay, you're not looking for the upset, and apologies, David. I called you Jesse. I was looking at putting up your best bets and looking for your name on this little graphic here. Let's talk your best bets tonight, David. What you're liking here in Monday Night Football. We know this is going to be just one of those games where these teams are going to look to come out strong. We know the quarterbacks' records on Monday Night Football, how they've done thus far in these games. 7-2 for both of these quarterbacks. They show up on the big stage, and for the Lions to be able to get things done, it's going to be a hard battle, like you were saying. Let's look at what you're liking here in the first half for these teams. David, take it away.
Yeah, and I apologize. My allergies just hit me really hard. So, but I'll focus on the information more than my voice. So I apologize to everybody out there. But I do like the Ravens in the first half of this game just because I could potentially see a backdoor cover. But I do like Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm going to go with the over rushing yards, 53.5 rushing yards. If you look back to last season, including the playoffs, in 18 games, Jahmyr Gibbs went over this in 15 of those games. And even if we go back to 2023, when the Ravens destroyed the Lions 38-6, Jahmyr Gibbs still picked up 68 rushing yards and just 11 carries. In the dominant win that the Ravens had over the Browns, Judkins, Ohio State guy, he still went over 60 yards and just 10 carries. So I do think that the Ravens run defense is a little bit vulnerable. The Lions are going to have to run the ball in order to have some success. And for the Lions to have success, Gibbs is going to have success on the ground. I think this is a very, very manageable number. I've seen it going up in some places here with 50, even at up to 55.5, 56.5. But I think that Gibbs is going to get to 60 rushing yards. So I love Jahmyr Gibbs to get over 53.5 rushing yards. And I'm going to just kind of stick to the first half with a -2.5, because I think if the Ravens dominate and win this game, we're going to, find out early, and they're going to have to be up at halftime. They had a lead against the Bills, even though they blew it away late. But so I like the Ravens in the first half, and I also like Jahmyr Gibbs. And I do have a best bet up over on the site as well.
Okay, yeah. So everyone head on over to the site for your best bet there. David, I just want to quickly mention a couple of things. I like where you're going with the Ravens in the first half. We've got some solid trends for them in the first half of games. We know that they've been able to come out strong. They've been strong at home as well. The Ravens in their black uniforms as well. I don't know if you put into that. The Darkness Falls games are asking fans to wear those light up things on their wrist, but they have won the first half in their last 5 games at home. So they've been strong here. Laying 2.5 isn't very many points. That's a field goal in the first half, you guys. So there's a couple of definite things you can look at there in this matchup. But I also wanted to ask you, you mentioned the fact that you're going to take Jahmyr Gibbs over for his rushing prop. Now, I saw this over on FanDuel, so I always look at all the different books, go over to Odds Logic and look at those lines. But over on FanDuel, they have a really interesting one here. It's Derrick Henry and Jamari Gibbs to combine for 200 plus rushing yards. I don't know if they're going to get there because I do think Lamar is going to use his legs. I think the Lions know they have to contain Derrick Henry. But if Jamar Gibbs or Derrick Henry, one of them goes off and they have like 110 night, the other one could push it to 200 plus rushing yards. It's the price that attracts me, David. It's plus 470. At plus 470, is it worth some coffee money?
I don't think it's gonna happen. I guess it could be worth some coffee money. I don't necessarily know if it's gonna happen, but I guess the thing with Derrick Henry, and I heard Sean talking about it. You're right. I definitely, no matter how easy it could seem, I'm never gonna bet the under on this man. I mean, I'm seeing like 87.5 right now. I mean, Derrick Henry could break a 75-yard run right there and end up with 150. So just being so explosive. So it may be worth some coffee money at that plus 470 price, but maybe 175 they get. But I think 200 is going to be a tall task.
Yeah, it's asking for a lot for sure at 200 plus rushing yards combined for Derrick Henry and Jamari Gibbs. It just really stood out to me because I love that plus money. But you guys, David's best bets for the show in Monday Night Football are the Ravens in the first half laying the 2.5 and Jamari Gibbs of the Lions over 53.5 rushing yards at minus 114. But I know that you do have an MLB game circled for us. You've got some player props. What have you got on the diamonds for us today, David?
Yeah, so interesting day in Major League Baseball because there's only 3 games. And a lot of times when there's only 3 games, you almost don't want to play it. But I really see value in all of these games today. And I actually have a best bet side and a best bet total up over on the site. But I like Freddie Peralta a lot to get over 5.5 strikeouts. I think this number is extremely low. Brewers, they're not likely to be caught by the Phillies, but they want to wrap things up as far as having the best record in that number 1 spot. And Freddie Peralta, he's recorded at least 6 strikeouts in 8 straight games. And even if you saw this at 6.5, he's got in 6 out of his last 8 games, he's got at least 7 strikeouts. And then also looking at the matchup, 125 collectively active Padres hitters are against Peralta, striking out about once every 3 at bat. So I love the Freddie Peralta to get over 5.5 strikeouts. And then I agree with Higgs as far as looking at the Braves run line, but I'm going to go ahead and play the under instead. 10 straight starts for Chris Sale, which is one of those reasons, you love the Braves tonight, where the Braves have held their opponents to 3 runs or less. But the reason I'm going to go with the under, Sale 1.31 earned run average in his last 5 starts. But Mackenzie Gore has pitched well. The last time these two met on Tuesday, it was a 5-0 game, but it went into extra innings scoreless. Gore pitched 5 1/3 shutout innings and 8 career starts against the Braves. Mackenzie Gore has a 2.85 career earned run average. So Mackenzie Gore is also pitching well. And with the Braves getting 1 less at bat, even though I think that they're going to win, I don't think they're going to be batting in the bottom of the 9th. I like the under. So under 7 in the game between the Nationals and the Braves, and Freddie Peralta over 5.5 strikeouts tonight.
Okay, so you guys, that is Freddie Peralta over on his strikeouts and the National Braves under 7 in that one. David, I want to thank you so much for coming here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays today. Hopefully we'll see you later in this week, but what else do you have up for sale? We know you're crushing it. We know those packages. What else can people expect this week from you?
Yeah, so I've got 3 other plays up. I did talk about this first half play, but I have a Monday Night Football best bet. So if you want my best bet between this game between the Ravens and the Lions, it's up over on the site. I have a Major League Baseball money line along with a Major League Baseball total coming off of a 4-0 week on my premiums in college football. Right now, we're also on a 13-4 side run in the NFL. So we're going to have a loaded card for the NFL, loaded card for a Major League Baseball, college football. And like I said, right now on the pass that you mentioned, if you grab that month of college football, college and NFL football, you will get all of my postseason plays for free in baseball, and those have been cashing.
Absolutely. David, well, thanks so much for joining us here today, and keep that beard on point. It's looking sharp. Higgs thinking you're a little bit of AI with that one.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I'm gonna keep the AI beard trying to go. Now I need to get the AI voice going. So I'm gonna drink some water for sure.
Absolutely love it. You guys head on over to Picks and Parlays and get David Delano's best bets. Thanks, David. We'll see you later this week.
Thank you. Talk to you later.
Thank you. Okay, you guys, we're going to recap all of the great handicappers' best bets here today, but just quickly one more time. David Delano, 11 tonight in Monday Night Football. The Ravens at first half laying the 2.5, as well as Jamari Gibbs of the Lions over 53.5 rushing yards. I think he's on the money with those. I've got my best bets to play it like Madden, fade or follow. You guys have to let me know in the questions in the comments where you're going. And of course, it's all about that D. We're going to talk my favorite defensive prop of the night as well. So we're getting to that. We're going to be wrapping up pretty quick though. Just taking one more look at that poll. So we did run the poll, and I just want to show you guys that poll that we ran over on X versus the books. The Lions only getting 17% of the love when we first posted this. Now, this was when we started the show. We're now seeing the Lions move to 22% of the love. The Ravens coming in at 30%. And then we're seeing also the love for that over. 37.3% of you liking that over and 12% on that under. So it's going to be an interesting one to see if the books or X get the win tonight. But let's look at what I'm liking out there. So we talked with all of these handicappers, and Baltimore in the first half was one of David's plays. And that's an interesting one versus the trends, because we have seen Baltimore strong on those trends in that first half, in the first quarter. They won their last 5 first quarters at home. So if you're looking to take Baltimore in the first quarter, and their last 5 first halves at home. So the spread 2.5, it's not that many points. It's a field goal. They would have to win. You've also seen Baltimore win the last 6 as a favorite versus the NFC North. So solid trends for why taking Baltimore in the first half, first quarter, and for this game. Now, when I'm looking at this one, I got best bets, you guys. You know I had to bring them here. I've got a couple of long shots. I think that long shot is interesting to consider with Derrick Henry and Jamari Gibbs to combine for 200+ rushing yards. I think if they do combine, you're not going to see the strength out of those quarterbacks tonight. Like, we know Lamar is going to want to use his legs. So if Derrick Henry is getting those yards on the ground, we're not going to see Lamar hit his prop. So I think if you're liking Lamar, stay off this. It's a long shot to consider just because of that great plus money at plus 470. So I had to mention it because I saw it. Will I be shocked if they hit it? No. Will I be shocked if they don't? No. It's just one of those numbers right around 200+ rushing yards, a plus 175. I'd be all over this. If I could get a plus 175 at plus 200, I'd sign up all day long. But I'm with David and Jesse in this one. That 200+ is just getting a little high. So what are my best bets? Well, for me, the tight ends have been dominating thus far this season, and I think they continue to do so. I'm looking at Mark Andrews to go off in this one. Mark Andrews over 35.5 receiving yards at minus 114. I'll also look at Sam Laporta over 47.5 receiving yards at minus 112. And then I do think the quarterbacks have success today. I'll take Lamar over 46.5 rushing yards. And when we look at him in Monday Night Football, 7-2 in Monday Night Football, you guys, 22-0 touchdown to interception ratio. He's going to be throwing those touchdowns today, but I also think he's going to be using his legs. We've seen him put up nearly 700 yards on the ground in Monday Night Football. This is where Lamar shows up, but this is also where Jared Goff shows up. And while I know the defense is going to come out strong on Jared Goff, push that pressure, I'm going to stay off his passing prop. We know Jesse's rolling with that passing prop to the over, and I don't disagree at all, but I'm going to take his longest pass over 34.5 yards, expecting that huge bomb down the field out of him. So my Monday Night Football best bets are Mark Andrews over 35.5 receiving yards, Sam Laporta over 47.5 receiving yards, Lamar over 46.5 rushing yards, and Jared Goff for his longest pass over 34.5. I love where Higgs is going with those 2 touchdowns, and I do think you're strong at looking at whoever you've got circled for a touchdown. Do the ladder effect, you guys. Ladder them from 1 to 2 for sure. Now let's talk about that defense, because you guys know my favorite props to bet are those defensive pick six, those sacks out there. And I do think there's a player you really want to circle on the defensive side of things tonight. So who I'm going to look at, are you guys ready for this one? This is who we're going with. We're going to look at Ravens safety, Kyle Hamilton, to record a sack. We're getting great plus money. Kyle Hamilton for the anytime sack coming in at plus 350, you guys. This is where you want to put your money on a plus 350 bet. Baltimore, they have with Kyle Hamilton, he's a safety and he's so versatile out there. He's already got 14 tackles on the season and he's been able to force that fumble. He's able to get that pressure on the quarterback and force the quarterback into situations where he can throw those interceptions, but also get those sacks out there. I'll take him for the anytime sack today at plus 350 to get to Jared Goff in this game. I think he's going to be coming with force in this one, and at plus 350, definitely worth a look. Now, there's other players that you could look at. You could look at the pick six. I'm not sure if I believe in either of these teams getting the pick six tonight. Aiden Hutchinson here for the Detroit Lions to record a sack is minus 114, and that's why I didn't roll with him. I just think it is just not enough value for Aiden Hutchinson to get to Lamar, especially with how slippery Lamar is out there on the field. He can break free. I do think Kyle Hamilton has every ability to get to Jared Goff, though. We know Jared Goff can be stiffer out there on the field, have less opportunities to use his legs and get out of there. So it will be my best bet in the defensive props is Kyle Hamilton to record the sack tonight at plus 350. You guys, that's it for the show. Let's recap where everyone is liking those best bets today for Monday Night Football. We had Jesse rolling in with Lamar over 225.5 passing yards, Jared Goff over 250.5 passing yards, and Jamari Gibbs over or his anytime touchdown at minus 124. We had Sean Higgs rolling in with the Lions and the Ravens first half over 26.5. Zay Flowers 2+ touchdowns at plus 600. And then we had David rolling in with the Ravens first half laying 2.5. Jamari Gibbs of the Lions over 53.5 rushing yards. And then my best bets with Mark Andrews over his receiving yards at 35.5. Sam Laporta over his receiving yards of 47.5. Lamar over 46.5 rushing yards, and Jared Goff over 34.5 passing for his longest pass, and then those long shots to combine. Derrick Henry and Gibbs to combine for 200+ rushing yards at plus 470. Again, coffee money on that one. That's definitely a long shot. And my best bet for the defense is Kyle Hamilton for the sack at plus 350. Those best bets out there on the diamonds. Higgs rolling with the Braves on the run line at minus 110. And David rolling with Freddie Peralta, the Brewers over 5.5 strikeouts at minus 122, the Nationals and the Braves under 7. And Jesse bringing us that upset alert. Jump on those lines. Now, you guys, we're seeing over on Odds Logic, those lines starting to move as money is coming in here on Washington. So Saturday matchup, Washington plus the 9, Jesse's rolling with, and a sprinkle on that money line at plus 260. That's a heartbreaker for me, you guys. You know I'm a Buckeyes fan, but we are live here on All-Jo Madden on Picks and Parlays every Monday, Thursday, and Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern. Make sure you hit that like, hit that retweet, hit the subscribe button and notification button over on YouTube, you guys. And make sure you do join us live. Get those questions, get those comments in for the top handicappers here on Picks and Parlays so we can answer them for you. But we'll be back on Thursday, again, 11 a.m. Eastern. So until then, stay hot, you guys. Let's make some freaking money out there. Best of luck in Monday Night Football.